All right. I think we're streaming. Let me check. My producer called in sick tonight. So I have to do all this myself. Just kidding. I don't have a producer. It's not showing me as live on my Facebook page. Hey, there it is. Look at that. All right, I'm live. All right. Let's see. I'm going to open some media. I'm going to open some files. Movies, maybe. Today, and today. Whoa, that's also today. What? All right, let's see what we got. Not that one. Well, okay, so we had some. Let me make this faster. Playback. Faster. Lots faster. 4 times as fast. Okay, so yesterday, first of all, hi. Hi, everybody. Here's the stream. Down to the wire. Came down to the wire today. I've got a lot of windows open, a lot of tabs open, a lot of things going on. Make sure you guys are seeing everything. Okay. So yesterday I sent out a thing on Facebook and Instagram asking for single words. And I was going to make a painting of some kind with those words. And Mrs. Moratis, Bobby Moratis, posted cat gator pillar. That one was one of the most popular, at least in my mind. So yeah, that's what I was thinking that I would do a little bit. And so here I'm just putting together some reference, getting the weirdest looking caterpillars possible. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And I want to go through these and kind of show you what I've done today on this. And then I will start painting. Running just a little bit behind, 10 minutes, that's okay. But yeah, there were some other words in there. Roller skates, houndstooth, mushrooms, and many others. Thank you for everybody who put in a word. I just, I chose a few that kind of spoke to me. Matador was another one. That was on Instagram. I don't know if I'll fit them all in, but I just collected a bunch of reference and then I modeled some stuff. I modeled a quick, see, I'm going through my list here. Got myself a Matador hat because that's the only thing I can think of when I think of Matadors. That and that they're traditionally not very nice to bulls. I know there's a big tradition and bravery and stuff, but you know, it's not really my bag, to be honest. No worries. But that hat, man, that hat. I might have to do something with that hat. So I'm just, you know, doing a bunch of reference here. And toe was another one by Brittany on Instagram. And I don't know how I'm going to fit a toe into this painting, but maybe I will. So that's that. And then after that, I went into ZBrush 3D modeling, and I looked at ZBrush for a while, and then I actually started at some point. So, you know, I've been doing this thing lately where I've been kind of staging paintings 3D model paintings sometimes, and I felt like doing that again today. So that is where I started. I started just I'm kind of sketching with 3D modeling these days a little bit. I do like to draw, but I don't like to draw like that much. I like to paint a lot, and I like to 3D model a lot. So I've been trying to figure out ways to just kind of get involved in that. Um, let's see. Let me take care of some business here. You can watch that while I'm taking care of business. I'm just modeling a caterpillar. Let me see if I can get my Restream chat up, and maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. It's always just real fun to know whether or not it'll work. Just a lot of windows to handle here. But thank you for coming and watching. If you're here, thanks. Just let me get my stuff together here a little bit, and let me just do a chat test. Chat test, went out to Facebook, went out to YouTube, went out to Twitch, went out to one Facebook. I'm not sure exactly where it went, but this chat is kind of infamously strange. Sometimes it sends messages, sometimes it doesn't, but needless to say, I'm not going to be able to watch all three of the places where all this stuff's going out. I am on Facebook, and I can kind of chat. I'm going to say, hi everybody. Dan Von Sagan says, my bad. I'm not sure why. Hey man, not your bad. Thanks for coming. It works. Awesome. Thank you. All right, it works. There's a little bit of delay with what you're seeing compared to what I'm seeing in the chats. It's very strange. Space and time is being bent. So, what's been going on with me is that I've been doing this art. I was working on my solo show pretty hot and heavy, but I'm not exactly sure if it's going to be happening the way that I originally was planning for it to happen. So stay tuned about that. I'm not sure exactly what's going to go on with that, but everyone will be the first to know about the solo show. It'll eventually happen. It'll eventually come out. It'll eventually be somewhere, and I'll probably do some toys because why not? It's been pretty fun to put the show together. It's kind of toy related. The other thing is that I've been writing a graphic novel, and that has been coming along pretty well. It's a lot of work. It's coming along kind of not really slowly. I think it's coming along at a good clip. But lots of drafts. It's a 4-part series, and I have to finish writing all of it and getting it where I really feel like it's all working before I start the art. So I promised myself I wasn't going to jump the gun on the art. Even though I'm excited about getting started with the art, I have been doing some character design for the book, as it comes along. So that's been a lot of fun, but nobody's allowed to see that yet. But I'm going to start talking about the graphic novel more soon. But right now I've just been writing it. It's been taking up a lot of my time. It's been fun. It's been hard. I suggest that everyone do something really hard because, I don't know, it's a lot of work, but it feels good to move projects forward that are really hard. Anyways, okay, so this is this, and one more thing is that my friend and yours, Elizabeth Albright, will be joining us at 8 o'clock. So in about 15 minutes, she's going to be calling in. And hopefully all of that stuff works right, and she'll be able to hang out on the stream with us. And I'll be able to hear her and all that. I've spent the last hour making sure that everything works right. So if it does work right, then hey, there you go. It'll work right. So anyway, that's coming up. And I'll just be painting, and we'll be shooting the bull, so to speak. So here I'm just modeling a quick alligator head. Based on my alligator that I've got there. So something. Alicata gator pillar, I think it was, or something like that. And I think I see that Bobby is here, or was here. Mrs. Moratis, I call her Mrs. Moratis because probably the last time we saw each other in person, I was 12 years old. So she is Mrs. Moratis and always will be to me, probably. I grew up in the neighborhood that she lived in, and I hung out with her two sons, Jared and Jason. Still talk to them once in a while. We're still buds. But Mrs. Moratis, I'm sorry for everything. I was probably kind of a little bastard, wasn't I? You don't have to answer that. Anyways, so alligator head, that's happening right now. Let's skip forward a little bit. I'm going to try to get all this over with by the time Elizabeth calls. So here I'm just kind of messing around with the pose. I started thinking about, what if this is a caterpillar with two alligator faces? That'd be a little strange. So I'm just kind of moving stuff around, getting my pose. So at some point, what I usually do is I render this stuff and render this stuff out in another piece of software. And I do the rendering, and I'm always working on this process and trying to perfect it. Like, I don't want to make a ton of lighting decisions with the 3D modeling stuff. So I render stuff in kind of like diffuse lighting, pretty even lighting. I don't really want it to be coming from any certain direction because I want to do some, I want to do some deciding of all that stuff when I'm actually painting. So here I'm modeling an alligator arm, I think. Just messing around. I hope everybody can hear me okay. I hope everything is coming through okay. I am seeing comments on Facebook. Some of the comments on Facebook. It's not showing me all of them. Not sure why. Maybe I can pop this open. Can I pop this open? I think, yes, I can. Oh no, the sound's coming through though. Mute that sound. I don't need to hear myself twice. Then I'll really start traveling through time, which is an illusion. Please add Ouroboros. I don't know what that means. Damn, I don't know what that means. Please explain what that means, and I will add it if I can. I would Google it, but I have just a lot of things I'm monitoring right now. I feel like I'm on a spaceship of some kind, like a really crappy spaceship where you have to watch a bunch of things, maybe like Mystery Science Theater 3000, but I don't know, not as whimsical. Maybe, I don't know. You be the judge of the whimsicalness of this, I suppose. All right, so here I'm rendering. This is the rendering part where I took my 3D model and I bring it in here and I just start thinking about composition a little bit. So here I'm turning the brightness down so I can, because I don't really want to I don't want to make any decisions about lighting. So I'm just trying to get some nice even lighting on it right now. So it's just nice and diffuse, kind of like an overcast day is what I'm shooting for, where you can see everything. There aren't really too many cast shadows. The shadows are mostly happening where parts come together. That's ambient occlusion is the fancy term for that. It's where light can't reach. So regardless of which direction the light's coming from, where there are a lot of spots on something, where ambient occlusion's happening, where no light is reaching. So that's what I'm trying to do, trying to get like something diffuse, and so I can just play around with the lighting and stuff when I get it into Photoshop and I start actually painting. A little, not self-conscious, but I want for it to feel like a painting when it's finished and not like a 3D model, you know. So here I'm just like setting up some cameras so I don't have to decide until later. And I think that's it. So the renders that I finally did have, let me close all this other stuff down. I need to be keeping an eye out for Elizabeth. Let me choose one of these renders. And I believe this was probably the one. Let's see. That's pretty good. Are these the same thing? Well, this one's got like a little crazier angle on it. Let's flip this. I think that's pretty cool. This is crazy. So, all right. This one's kind of a plain, straightforward angle. Yeah. Let's see here. I don't know. I think I kind of like, this one's pretty crazy. This is kind of like what is happening. There's like a alligator, caterpillar. Whatever, it doesn't really matter that much in the end. What do you guys think? Any opinions? I'll wait. Number 1, number 2, number 3. I don't know how long of a delay this is on. All right, so we've got one person waiting for the meeting. All right. No video?
That's coming.
Okay. All right, there we go. So I've got some fancy equipment here, and I'm going to transition. Let me see. I can't have you be bigger than me.
No.
Kidding. All right. Hi, Elizabeth. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. I was just really just trying to keep up with too many things at once. You can watch the stream if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get that up as well.
Hold on. If you do, you're probably gonna want to mute it so you don't start traveling through time, because it's like on a delay and it'll probably feed back into your mic and stuff like that.
Well, I might look at it on my phone.
Cool. So people might ask questions, and if I catch them, I will. Oh,
I can see.
Cool.
Ah.
You look great.
Yeah, that's because I have the touch up my appearance set on the Zoom.
Oh, really?
That's a filter.
What is that? What does the filter do?
It just makes you not look like you've been stuck in your house for a month.
Oh. Why? Is something going on?
Oh, I don't know. It's weird. That's really weird out there. I'll tell you. What do you make? Is that a water bear? What is that?
Well, I don't know if you were looking at the comments earlier. You were probably reading some of the comments about the one word stuff. And do you remember the alligator caterpillar one?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, so it's going to be an alligator caterpillar, but I've got some other stuff that I want to try to work into it. But at this point, who knows with how much time or whatever we have. I don't remember which one was number three. A couple people are saying number three, but I don't remember which one was number three. Was it this one? I think it is this one. Probably is because um, they're not that much different from each other. Yeah, so I'm gonna paint this. I was doing. I've been working some 3D modeling into stuff that I do lately. You know, it's like uh, I don't know. It's kind of like sketching. I don't really
And
love to draw, to be
yeah,
honest.
I don't like drawing either.
I know you're right. You're a painter too.
No, I don't care. And it's like the most harrowing part of the process for me is drawing and drafting. And then when I get to the painting, it's cake. It's like paint by numbers, but
Right.
God, it's
Yeah. I mean, that's similar. Similar. I like to paint the most, and I mean, I like drawing some, but I mean, sometimes when I'm doing something a little bit more uh, involved, it'll take me like I'm too impatient. I don't want to perfect my drawing, so I end up just getting ahead of myself, and then I just start painting, and it takes me forever to fix. So especially for something like this, where I'd like to have something that actually looks a little bit like a painting in an hour, I was just thinking like, yeah, I'll just do this. And this is kind of like how I did. This is how I was doing all those ones, the toy things for the solo show too. Was I would start with 3D models, but anyways, maybe I should introduce you. It's Elizabeth Albright. She's a local artist. She's a friend of mine. Would you like to introduce yourself? Would you like to talk about yourself?
I don't particularly like talking about myself in general, but I guess yeah, I paint. I'm actually like I'm in my bedroom, so I can easily show you. There's a that painting's actually someone bought it, but they've not finished paying for it, so it's directly behind me, so that you can see some.
Awesome.
I'm surrounded by my weird animal creatures in my bedroom, and I like it that way.
Yeah.
um,
You could post your website in the chat, and we'll go to your website before it's all over with.
Alrighty. Um,
But yeah, Elizabeth is a friend of mine. You're like the person that I message when I'm maybe freaking out a little bit or something about stuff. Sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
Not really. I never freak out about anything. I'm always like really calm.
Yeah, are you?
Yeah, always super calm.
You always sound like you're really calm. That's for sure.
Do I? That's cool.
Yeah, you do.
I think
You
it's
do.
because I'm super cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
Aloof, aloof might be.
Yeah, I'm dead inside. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, yeah. The light has gone out.
The,
Um,
yeah, I mean, I just, the only thing I really care about is drawing like weird caterpillar creatures now.
no, I understand that. That's not. Uh, I kind of want to like. I feel like I've become obsessed with making animal people because I'm just making my own world where it's like more pleasant. Like it's like a children's storybook, except I don't know my version, but static. I guess I don't know quite how to explain it, but
No,
yeah,
I take that. I mean, yeah, you just kind of like make your own fantasy world, pretty much.
yeah,
That might be a
yeah.
little bit
I'll
better. I
finish
don't know.
painting something and I'll be like, oh, I would choose that guy as my main character in the next video game I play. Like if I saw that, that was the rendering, you know, the little icon, the little avatar rendering. It's like, yeah, that guy, that'd be good.
For what? For you mean when you're painting stuff, your characters?
Yeah, like that's like my goal sometimes is to be like, yeah, if I was playing like what's the old school Dungeons, now I can't think of it because I'm talking on a video and I have
Yeah.
stuff myself. The old school like Baldur's Gate, you know, it would have like the, you can choose the character and it has the little picture of the character, and the picture is always much nicer than the actual game graphics.
Like, are we talking about like maybe World of Warcraft
I
or
never
older?
played World of Warcraft, but
Me
I mean,
neither.
I'm just any RPG. I've been playing a lot of like old school Final Fantasy, being stuck inside, and
Nice.
they always have the like your like Final Fantasy 7, you know, it's all like super like everything's very like cubed and whatever. I don't know technical terms. I'm terrible.
Cubed.
But then they have like the picture of them and it's this beautiful anime character, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the right, like the concept design, they do those, and then they can only do so much in the actual gameplay itself, or
Right.
unless, I mean, they'd still be working on final. You know, takes forever to make a video game, from what I hear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've surely gotten better at it. Although in some ways, I think it's very interesting, and I guess it just has to do with the level of I don't know, the designer skills or whatever. Because I've been playing Final Fantasy 7 and also Final Fantasy 10, which was made in 2000, and it's got graphics that are almost as good as some of the games I see like come out now.
Yeah,
And and you wonder like, you know, where were what like design geniuses did they have in 2000 that now in 2020, you know, stuff coming out for new consoles doesn't look that much better.
yeah.
Um,
They're I mean, they were like trendsetters, right?
oh yeah.
I like those turn-based RPGs a lot. I'm always looking out for one because I don't know, because you don't have to like it's not fast paced, right? It's just like
No, I prefer a more cerebral
yeah,
sort of game where you have to think about your strategy and it's not like just jump and fall down a lot.
right.
That just
You should play if you like Final Fantasy, I would suggest Child of Light. That one came out a few years ago. Where how are you playing these? Did you say?
I'm playing on, I have an Xbox 360.
Okay. I
Or I'm
think
sorry, an Xbox One.
okay.
I don't even know like what generations anymore. I've lost track. And we have a Wii U as well, which is like so defunct at this point that we had tried to find a controller for it and we had to buy a used one because they don't even make them anymore.
Yep.
uh, so I have video game dreams where I'd like to have better consoles. What console is this video game on?
It's on. You can get it on Xbox One. I think it came out on 360 originally,
Yeah,
but
well,
you
yeah,
can.
it used to be everything. Like now they come out on cat's about to photobomb. Now they come out on, everything seems to come out on all the consoles. And I remember it used to be like when I had PlayStations, like you had to get the PlayStation 1 to get this game or whatever. It's just
Right.
not that.
Yeah, that's they had these games called God of War, and they only come out on PlayStation now.
Yeah.
Sony. But yeah, Child of Light was like an indie. I like looking for indie games because it's a lot of times the art is really cool. I mean
Yeah.
that's one of the main reasons why the games that I do enjoy is usually because the art is something unique.
Yeah, I
Um,
like art and I like story. That's
yeah,
something Final Fantasy was always really good at, was story. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I like it to be that immersive. I like an open world RPG sometimes too, Skyrim type
oh
thing.
my gosh, yeah, and just spend the rest of your life doing it.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna go and become the best alchemist for no reason.
Yeah,
Mercedes
that's
land. I'm gonna be the best Khajiit alchemist that ever existed. Um,
I saw the writing on the wall with Skyrim. I started playing it a little bit, and I was like, "There's no way I'll never get anything done again if I really get into this game." Because I had already, played games for hundreds of hours before that, and I was like, I just got to stop doing this. I can't do this anymore.
Sure. Yeah.
So
I honestly have not played video games in probably 5 or 6 years until this whole stay home order thing happened. Like I
yeah,
haven't had time. And now I'm just like, well, like I gotta do something when I'm up in the middle of the night. Like
right.
instead of thinking about my imminent demise, I might as well play Final Fantasy for 6 hours until I fall asleep on the couch.
Yep.
You know?
Yes, definitely. I've been trying to stay busy. I mean, there's only like so much you can do, right?
Sure.
I mean, about all this stuff going on. I certainly, I don't know. There's only so much you can do, and part of it's like trying not to freak the f out all the time.
Right.
It's like easy to I don't know, freak out. But yeah, we're here in Asheville, and I don't know what's going on with whatever the orders are. Are we supposed to still be? I mean, it doesn't really
Yeah,
matter
so
because
technically the stay-at-home order holds until May 1st, I think, and then they'll probably redo whatever. There was some statement about reopening in stages based on numbers that the governor came out with yesterday or day before or something.
yeah. Well, hopefully,
Yep.
I don't know, man. I really want to. I really want Rocky's Hot Chicken Shack.
we take every single person that visits Asheville. We take them to Rockies.
Oh, really? Which one do you go to?
The one on Smoky Park Highway.
Yeah, that's. I can see that place from my house.
Yeah, it's good. It's so good. Yep.
Good stuff. One day they'll be open again.
Are
Or
they not
actually,
open at
I
all?
mean,
They're not
they,
takeout?
they probably are open. They probably are open. Maybe I'm just a little bit,
I haven't been eating out from anywhere. Like
yeah.
I feel like I should, but like to support people, but just eating groceries at home is saving me a ton of money. Like no gas and no eating out. Like that's,
Yep. That's me too. It's like, I think, I mean, I don't know. I guess you have a point with what's going on here. I guess you have a point with helping businesses and stuff, but I don't know. I guess I'm just a little too freaked out. And plus the money thing.
yeah. I don't really like, I'm not freaked out about the food. I don't want to go stand in line somewhere. Like
Yeah,
that's,
right.
I don't want to go out for any reason other than like if I absolutely have to. So
Me
it's just
too.
easier. And like I had to go out, to a store. I've mostly been getting my groceries delivered at this point because I went to a store one time and I had to tell every person that I ran into, like, no, you need to not be so close to me. And I was like, no, okay, I'm done with this. I can't do this.
You were saying that to people?
But well, they were just like nobody was paying attention, and this was like almost a month ago, so people weren't really like in that mind frame yet. But I
Right.
was, and my anxiety is so high, I was like having a panic attack in the grocery store, and I'm like, you know what, this is not gonna happen. Yeah, like it's not okay. But I want to know who had the sad react. I'm looking at the Facebook thing. Someone's sad about this. Why are you sad?
Who got a set?
It
Who's sad?
says Bobby Ash. Why are you sad, Bobby? I want to
No, maybe
know.
she had to go. Maybe because she had to go.
Maybe it was a mistake.
Or maybe that's. I wouldn't put it past her that it was a joke.
Ah, now someone's angry now. Oh no.
Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, I would be angry too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I am like pretty controversial with this weird thing that I'm doing. All right,
I
I
like
gotta.
his mouth. What?
Uh, um, I'm gonna try to make him look less like a 3D model as quickly as possible. Sometimes it takes a while. That's the thing about this is that you know how when you're painting, maybe it's not the same for you, but I have a feeling it probably is similar for like almost all painters. It's like part of the process is slowly but surely kind of zeroing in on whatever the composition and everything else.
Sure.
Yeah. So like the weird thing about this, doing things like this is when I bring it in here and I start painting, it's like a lot of stuff is already here. So, normally if I was doing this, I would start with blobs, and I would just slowly but surely kind of carve them away until I got the thing. But I don't know, maybe it's a little bit hard to explain, but it's almost like you're at the beginning of a painting, you're not as locked in.
Yeah, well, I mean, that happens with oil painting. I do a wash first and I put in all the colors, very thinly so that I
Mm-hmm.
can then see how the colors look and see how they work together and if I need to change anything. And then I slowly build up the color and tone. I can't even think of words right now.
It's okay.
I slowly build it up. So yeah, it's I mean, it's a recursive process. What does he have in his hand? Oh, what is that? No, put it back. What was that? Does he have
What?
he had something in his hand.
Oh, I don't know.
It's going the video I'm seeing on Facebook is going at a different speed because I see myself talking like a minute ago. So
Oh, I'm actually just forming his hands. I'm trying to tie all the parts together right now and just give him arms. He's got
I
alligator arms. He's got a caterpillar. He's a mess, man. He's got a caterpillar butt. He's gonna have some of these things coming out. That's right. You can't see me, right? You can only
I
see me
can't
on
see you on Zoom. I can see you on Facebook, and everything on Facebook is delayed. So I can
right,
see me talking on Zoom,
right.
and then I can see me talking in the past on
It's
Facebook.
a little weird. I know it's a little weird.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I'll get over
Um,
it. I'm just fascinated by this whole because like digital art feels like voodoo to me. So
what? Digital. Oh, digital art. You said.
yeah, because I don't understand it. So I'm just like I'm kind of fascinated by these things that you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I try to. I don't know. It's maybe funny for me to say that I try to approach it like a regular painting, just because I'm doing like stuff that's traditional painters aren't really doing, like 3D modeling and stuff. But I really do still try to approach it like I'm doing. I don't know, thin washes, except for I don't have to dip a brush into paint. I do like thin washes, or I'm just carving shapes. I mean, I try to, like a lot of people over here, you'll see in a minute, I'm motioning to the layers. Over here is like the layers, and a lot of people will do like millions and millions of layers, but I try to smash mine down as quick as possible. So I'm really thinking about it as I would with a painting, like a painting. So, but that was what I was saying. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's like like this alligator. He's already got a head here and stuff, and so it's like I almost feel like I'm gonna mess something up. Like subconsciously, it's like I'm going more delicately because a lot of the shapes are already here. So I
Yeah.
don't want to mess my shapes up. Instead of finding shapes, it's like a lot of them are already here when I
Can you
bring the
not go
model in.
back? Like, can't you undo or whatever if you mess up your? I don't know. I'm such
Yeah,
a Luddite. I have no idea.
no, I can, but I see like that kind of goes to what I was saying of like I don't like to keep up with all that much.
Sure.
I like to like go forward. That's maybe the biggest thing that I can say where it's like why I feel like I'm doing it the same way as a traditional painter is that there's no going back. Like there's not much going back. I mean,
But
I'll undo
there is going back in oil painting. I mean,
is there?
I'll stick some paper towel and some mineral spirits and rub off entire sections of a painting if they're terrible.
Yeah.
Like, and also there's just the, I mean, sometimes I'll do something and I'll be like, I'll think there is no going back and I'll just straight up destroy it.
Really.
Yeah.
I like to I like to a lot of times I just find that like if I keep going back, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it just takes some of the fun out of it for me. I mean, I
Hmm.
absolutely do go back sometimes, and I absolutely do start completely over sometimes. But I like I think that it's just because I've got these like tools at my disposal that I go out of my way to like not go back. I don't know if that makes sense. It
No,
makes a little sense.
I like you're trying to. Do you feel like you're trying to prove something? No,
No,
I mean,
I
like,
don't.
so I know a lot of like there's different ways that people do digital art, and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times digital artists are criticized because they
Right.
can use tools that traditional artists don't have.
Right.
So, I mean, if you like saying, "Well, I'm just not going to use those tools," is like a way of like proving to yourself that you're doing something more pure, or I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get that. It's a fair question, and it probably is. I mean, I think that I used to be more self conscious about being digital.
Yeah.
Definitely, we've probably had conversations about it before, but I'm not self conscious about it anymore. I mean, I think it's just another tool like everything else. It's I mean, it's definitely very widely used. It's anybody who's still like has opinions like that, that might be like, oh, digital art isn't real art. Like those people are on the wrong side of history already.
Oh, sure.
But I think for me, maybe there was at one point a little bit like that, but now it's just the way that I work. I don't like thinking. It's kind of like when you're doing design anything, you 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 have to narrow it down, right? So like if I'm just screwing around with all the millions of possibilities and tools and stuff, um, it might slow me down. But I would rather just kind of use a stripped down process.
Yeah, I absolutely understand that because I mean, there are some people who do very well, like as a Renaissance artist or whatever, that they use lots of different tools and lots of different mediums. And I personally, like, my goal is to be the best at oil painting I can be, and I don't care about anything else.
Yeah.
I just don't like, and I try, I've tried to learn some skills, some like digital skills just to be able to better market my oil painting. But
Mm-hmm.
when I like think about actually spending the time to learn a completely different uh medium, I'm not interested. And
Right.
that really like gets people sometimes. Like, why do you want to do that? It takes a really long time. It's difficult, it's messy, it's smelly, it takes up a lot of space. I'm like, oh, I like doing it.
Yeah.
and
It's like
and and I have like rules and stuff like that I put on myself, and that just it's like I only do certain types of art and I try to stick it in this like little box. And
mm-hmm.
maybe that's not a good thing, but to me, like, I feel like it's working, so I'm going to keep doing it and I enjoy it, so like
Right.
whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's like your journey, right? I mean, it
Sure.
doesn't. I mean, people always want to give well-meaning advice and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's your journey. You're the one who's got to spend millions and millions of hours thanklessly working in your studio on something. So it better be what you want to do and what
Right.
you enjoy. And no, I mean, I totally get that. It's, you know, rules are just kind of like you said, self-imposed rules. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's if you enjoy rules, which I don't understand why you do, but if you enjoy rules, then they're your rules though. Nobody else can
Sure.
really
Well,
tell you
it's
what to.
order. It's there's so like just like yeah, we were talking about earlier, like how are we supposed to know, how to plan the next year with things being shut down and blah blah blah. Like there is
Yeah.
constantly chaos outside, of my control. And so if I bring order into my art, if my art is the thing I can control, that makes me feel better, you know?
Yes,
So
I totally get it. And I mean that goes back to what you were saying about like creating your own little world, right? I mean
yeah.
that's kind of like what we're all doing. What I think all artists are doing in a way is just
Oh, absolutely.
creating your own world because yeah, like the world is kind of I don't know. There's a lot of things about it that kind of suck. And there's like
Sure.
restrictions on you all the time and things to worry about, real life things to worry about. So there's definitely some aspect to it. I mean, of creating your own world. For me, it's like I don't know, not to get. I mean, maybe this sounds a little bit cheesy, but for me, and I've thought about this. It's like because I don't know. Artists do have a place kind of in the world to contribute to society, right? I think that we do. Of course, we do.
Sure.
Um, and and I mean, if not, if that weren't the case, then I wouldn't get so much meaning out of doing art. You know, it's kind of like we all have kind of this instinctual um, instinct to be a part of or to contribute. You know, so it's doing art isn't just selfish, and so it's like so I was started asking like what is it that I do art really for? Like what's my contribution? And I always go back to kind of like and for me it was mostly books, but I always go back to, a lot of the books I read and stuff. The best ones, the ones that stick with me are the ones that kind of make me not feel so alone in the
Right.
world. Like
Yeah.
like I think a lot of people feel like total effing weirdos their whole life. I certainly know that I do. I mean, I used to a lot more. Now I'm like old, so I don't give a shit really as much. But, um, you feel like just kind of like a lonely weirdo, like in the world. And so, what art does is it helps people not feel so alone.
No,
It's like,
absolutely. Well, yeah, and I was in a book club last night and we were actually just talking about that, how, books create empathy and visual art can create empathy too. And, if I make something and it makes me laugh and it makes me feel happy and then I go and present it to someone else and it makes them laugh and it makes them feel happy, like I'm satisfied and that could, that's also making them feel satisfied and they have a connection with me and I have a connection with them just through us both having the same response to this piece of visual art.
yeah,
And it makes you feel closer to other humans. It makes you feel like you said, like you're not alone.
yeah,
It creates like empathy for other people because like, well, if this person also thinks that this, so what is this thing, a crocodilla, I don't even remember, if this person is also like amused by or enjoys this thing, like then maybe we're not so different, even if
right,
like we don't, like I don't think I'm as cool as them or I don't fit into their group or whatever, like we both like this one thing,
yeah,
so that's something.
yeah. That's definitely part of it. And like really the reaction itself, I don't know if it for me personally, it's like I don't know if it I don't know. It's like like going back to writing, because it's really a much better example than art from me, is the books that I read, it's like, yeah, there's another person out there that kind of sees things in this weird way, because we're all in this world that's like where nobody's really most people don't want to be seen as kind of stepping out of line, or they're self-conscious. I mean, people are so self-conscious all the time, and it's like this ancient thing of not wanting to kind of I don't know, end up on the wrong side of the group. I don't know exactly what
Well,
it is. We just
that's I mean, that's a survival thing.
yeah.
And we were talking about that. So the book group that I was in last night, we were talking about there's this graphic novel called Man Eaters, and it's about girls that turn into werepanthers if they have their periods. So the whole
What?
society tries to stop them from being these man-eating werepanthers.
Yeah.
And it's very political and it's very feminist. And one of the things we were discussing is how, as an artist, a lot of times, you know, people like the writer, I think Chelsea Kane is her name, take this leap where they do something that is so polarizing. Like, it's really scary as an artist to do something that polarizing. Where, like, this is clearly for one group of people, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not for another group of people. And you say this is a clear reflection of my ideas on this very political polarizing thing. Like, that's super gutsy and super hard to do, because it is
Right.
that instinctual. You have that, because I think about that with art a lot. This instinctual, like, I don't really want to offend anybody.
Right.
you know like, I want to do something that means something to me, but if I offend somebody, or I like do something that's really polarizing, like, what is that going to do to like half my audience?
Yeah.
um
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a I don't know. It's just like a strange. It's a strange time to have any opinion at all. I mean, if you have any opinion at all about anything, you're gonna piss half the people off no matter what. So I just don't worry too
that's true.
much about it. I mean,
Sometimes you do things and you think it's totally fine, and like that, that you have the t-shirt, that party animal
mhm.
drawing I did with the octopus holding the balloon.
Yeah.
I had a woman come up to me at a market and say, like, that it was insensitive because sea creatures were killed by balloons. And I was like, oh, like, that's I never thought in a million years that was a place that this would go. Because to me,
Yeah.
it's just funny and light. And I was like, oh,
It is. It is. It actually is funny and light. You know, that's. I mean, obviously, that person is a
well,
party
it's
animal
all people's
herself, but
perspective, and it's whatever is in the news and whatever people are being. Because then, like, this year now, not this year, I guess last year, people would see it, and right after Banksy shredded the girl with the balloon thing, and then everyone thought it was a Banksy commentary, and then no, it's just an octopus with a balloon. It's just
yeah,
cute. It's just cute. Like,
right.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell anybody either. I'm just. That's the thing. Is like I just. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't care. I'm just doing my thing. I'm gonna doing my thing. I know where my heart is. I know that the octopus is just an octopus hanging onto a balloon, and
I care less the older I get, and the longer I deal with the public, I care less. I mean, I want people. My goal, honestly, is to make people happy and to make people smile. But if somebody takes it wrong, like that, I don't know. You
we're. I
know.
mean, we're really left no choice but to not listen to this shit because
Or
everybody. I mean, it's no matter what, somebody is going to get like annoyed. You have no choice. I mean, it's like a natural. It's the natural evolution of this strange stuff about our culture right now. The natural evolution of it is for people, normal people, that aren't just rolling around looking for something to get pissed off about. Like normal people are just gonna kind of check out and be like, all right, well, this is just the way it is. You just gotta do your stuff, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
like I mean, if somebody were to actually say something and they had a point, that's different. You know, I'm not saying
Oh
that.
well,
I'm just
yeah. Like
saying,
I've had ideas that I've sort of bounced off of people that I did not realize were like not a good idea. Like they were either offensive in some way I didn't realize or whatever. And I've had conversations with people and then just been like, okay, like maybe I shouldn't do that. So sometimes there are aspects of things you don't think about, but
yeah,
that are legitimate.
right.
Um, and that's something you have to be willing to take constructive criticism in that instance. But you
Right,
know,
but from people you trust, though, not from like
sure,
the
not
angry
some
mob on the
lady that runs
internet.
up to you and screams at you that
Right. That's a
guilty
person.
fingers. Like I know, but
That's a
listen,
person who is like just looking for either looking for some looking for something to take their stuff out on, really,
right.
or they are really obsessed with like that particular thing, and it's they just are looking for somebody to blame. I mean, I know that you're not overfishing octopuses, you're not throwing balloons in the ocean. I mean, I don't want octopuses to die of balloons.
No,
I don't think you
I
do
know
either.
that the video I see is probably I'm behind, but I really like the hands that are happening here. They're very dainty.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for like because alligator hands are so batshit crazy looking.
Yeah.
I thought that I would try to make them dainty. I've got 25 minutes left. I don't know. This is still looking like a 3D model too much to me. I wonder what I could
Well,
do to
I'm
just
I'm
screw
I'm
it.
absolutely amazed that you can talk this much and still continue to work. So,
Um, thank you.
like I can't like I put noise canceling headphones on when I work and just like have to zone. I
Right.
can't focus that much.
Well, I don't know. I think it comes. I just don't know what I'm doing. That's what it is.
So when you do this thing where you're like just scribbling on the background that I see occasionally, is that just you testing the color?
Um, I don't know exactly what you're seeing in the video. You
Yeah.
know, um, right now, if you saw me putting some splashing some color on, like a
It was in the
warmish yellow.
background.
Oh, I'm
I
trying
was
to.
thinking, yeah, go.
I'm right now. What I'm trying to do is trying to make this. I'm trying to get to a place where I'm feeling more like I'm painting and less like I'm
Sure.
coloring a 3D model. So I'm getting some colors in here to kind of like start to make it harmonize a little bit, you
Yeah.
know, because it's like when you're drawing an environment. When I'm drawing an environment, I'm thinking about how light, you know, light is bouncing everywhere all the time in an environment, and so you know, as long as your values are right, you can get away with a lot of weird colors.
Oh,
And,
sure.
you know, like, so that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just kind of smearing some color on here to see where it goes. And just trying to get this to the point where it's all painted, like it all starts having paint strokes on it instead of stuff from the 3D render. Yeah, I don't have the render in here anymore, but so I'm just like putting some pinks in here. I don't know. I think he's on Jupiter. Jupiter was one of the words. So I'm trying to make it like he's a Jupiter space alien, which really kind of goes back to earlier, like when we were talking about how important our work is, what we do.
Like every react just came up. There was a sad, and then there was a laugh, and then there was a heart, and then there was an angry. So many reactions.
Yeah, people get really emotional about this crocodile painting. It's actually like a bunch of people a bunch of old friends around here. What's
Nice.
up, Bilbo? What's up, Adam? What's up, Morgan? Hello, Morgan. Hey, Shady. What's up, Patty? What's going on, Lee? I don't know if you guys are still here or not, but hey, Saturday night. Hi, Cynthia. Hello, Doris. I think Doris is my cousin. Martina, Kendall, Action. What's going on? Jenica, hello. Amanda, hey. All right. I hope I said hey to everybody.
I see
I'm Trent.
Lauren. Lauren was here for a minute.
Lauren was here. Hi, Lauren.
I
Let's
don't
see.
know if she's still here.
Yeah, I get a little green. There's a green bubble when somebody joins, but I don't know if it probably doesn't disappear when they go away. All right.
It's saying there are 3 people watching on my screen.
Well, you don't have to.
One of them's me. So I don't know.
You're bumming me out.
No, right. I don't mean to. There were more earlier.
I'm kidding.
There were more earlier, I swear to you.
I'm kidding.
That's just what I'm seeing, and it's also delayed, so.
No, that sounds about right. Actually, I think this is the most people on a stream I've had.
Well, good.
Probably because of the draw.
Oh,
like
Shady just said she's that they're casting us to her TV.
Awesome.
So Shady's straight up watching us.
Awesome.
On the screen.
Shady, we'll have to talk and maybe get you on one of these sometime.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to just hit up art friends that I have.
Shady is fun to talk to.
Yeah, she is. So what have you been working on?
Well, today I mostly was just working on my website, which was a pain because I have all this small stuff that I never list on my website because it sells really well in person, but there is no in person right now.
There is no in person right now. That's very true.
I spent all day listing buttons and stickers, which was not fun. But the painting I'm working on, I've been trying to work on multiple paintings because of the way my process works. It can take a really long time if I just work on one, because sometimes I have to wait for things to dry to be able to properly do stuff. And I don't want to be waiting, a week and just not working for a week. So, and that was also something you kind of encouraged me to do because I remember us talking about that because I used to work on one thing at a time. And I think that you were like, why would you do that? You'd never get anything done. So
yeah, I like to do several things at once.
Yeah. So you kind of inspired me, to do that. And it's actually been working for me. What's been helpful is that if I get really annoyed with something, I can put it down and work on something else. And then I feel like I come to the thing I was annoyed at fresh later.
Yes.
So I'm working on a Frida Kahlo piece, which is actually it's part of, so I'm doing an icon series. So icons is the animals they're most closely associated with, not necessarily just music or whatever, but just general pop culture type people.
I saw that Bowie piece. That's
yeah. So that's one I like working in a series. So that's one of them, and I did Prince. But right now I'm working on Frida Kahlo and Mr. Rogers. And
oh wow, awesome.
Yeah. So I've been watching a lot of Mr. Rogers with my kids, and then I watched the Mr. Rogers documentary, and there's this whole they do this thing where they animate Mr. Rogers feelings as Daniel Tiger the puppet. And there's a part where his wife said that Daniel Tiger is his alter ego, and I was like, well, I have to make Mr. Rogers a tiger now. Yeah. So I'm doing Mr. Rogers as a tiger. I'm working on Dolly Parton as a sheep. And
that's awesome.
Also, what's the other one? There's one more. My brain can't remember.
I'm working on a series of 8 paintings right now, and I can never remember them all at once. So that's
I like can't. I feel so. There's another commission that I should have started on. Well, I started on it once and I'm restarting on it because I'm changing it. What's the other? Oh no, I guess that's it of the ones that are my work in progress.
Cool.
I'm doing a pet portrait too, which is just a dog and an Elizabethan collar because that's what they want. Um,
Yeah, you do pet portraits for people, but you like do your thing to them,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is
Sometimes
cool.
I do a standard. If people really want a standard one, I'll do that. But I prefer to turn them into people. Um, I do.
Historical. You
I
do
just. What's that?
you're a history buff, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, well, and it's I would say in general, I like to over examine everything. So part of
mhm.
it's history and part of it's just like a search for meaning in narrative.
Yes.
Um, and I kind of like got my hooks into the idea that there is a way to connect animals to almost everything in human narrative. Um, and
Because we
was reading a lot about like anthrozoology and how animals interact with humans and how we try to make animals human. And it's just really interesting to me. And the more I look into it and read about it, the more I find like, every era and every culture, you can find some animal connection. And so now it's just like, I'm just super obsessive. And so now that's just like, I try to find that in everything.
yeah.
uh,
I
so
mean, you've been doing since I've known you, you've been doing stuff like that, like anthropomorphized, is that the word?
Well,
Jeez.
technically, the things I do are zoomorphic
Right,
because
because you turn instead of turning animals into people, you turn people into animals.
well, anything given human traits is anthropomorphic. So, like a god can be anthropomorphic because a
Uh-huh.
god isn't a human; it's just a thing with human traits. So, a zoomorphic is giving a human animal traits.
Cool.
Um, So that's technically so I've gotta get super nerdy about that. It's technically zoomorphic, although everyone likes to say anthropomorphic. Um,
Right. I mean, everybody's really proud that they remember that word, so you should let them use it.
well, and it's confusing too. I had to like read an entire article about the difference because I was confused about it and I wanted to use the correct term.
Right.
Um, and I'm just a nerd and I don't sleep much, so I spend a lot of time reading like scholarly articles. I don't know. Um, so
Scholarly articles on this?
oh yeah, I'll go and like into like JSTOR and stuff. I mean, from college, I know all the where you can find all the like scholarly papers that professors write and stuff. Um,
Nice.
so it was actually interesting. One of the books I read, the name and it was about anthrozoology, like the study of humans and how humans interact with animals. And I was reading it. And I cannot remember the title. It has a really long title, but it was like a book, like a mass market published book, and it was written by a guy named Hal Herzog, and his name I remember because he was a professor at Western where I went. I took master's classes at Western, and in English because I have no art degree. But and he actually last year at Art in Autumn, he happened to walk into my booth. This guy who wrote this book that I had
Huh.
been reading. Like when I was like reading it, like it was in my bag and I'm sitting in there and he walked in and he's like, "This is great." And then he started
Uh,
talking about my paintings and stuff, and I had my portfolio that explained all of them, and he was like, "Oh, this is." He's like, "You should read my book," and I like had it in my bag. I'm like, "I'm reading your
oh.
book."
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So you guys were like best buddies after that.
Well, I mean, I've never spoken to him or seen him again, but he was like amazed. I was thrilled that he liked my art, and he was thrilled I had his book, and it was like the weirdest coincidence. Um,
That's
and
awesome.
Yeah. So I'm gonna push up my glasses.
What's that?
I was gonna push up my glasses, while I talk
Yeah,
about
super nerd.
this nerdy dude.
You're among your people,
Yeah.
so don't worry.
Yeah. No.
That's
Um.
cool. Well, I pulled your website up for a minute. Hopefully, people will. You did. I don't know if you posted your website in there, but people
I
should
wrote
go
it in.
check
I
it.
wrote it in the Zoom chat, and then realized that's dumb because they can't see. I don't think they can see what's in
Nope.
the Zoom chat.
No, they can't. Nor will
I'll
they
write
ever
it.
see it. They'll never see the Zoom chats.
I don't understand technology.
Yeah, just in.
Oh,
It
I
seems
just
like the
like.
majority of folks are in Facebook right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I just like. Okay. No, I don't want to write a reply. I want to write a comment. Why so slow? Okay.
Okay, so I think that there's probably some crazy light since we're on Jupiter. Probably. Plus, there's not a ton of time left, and so yeah, I'm gonna pull out some
I like you.
tricks.
From what I can see, which I know is like a few minutes ago, I like the fuzzy pink hair happening. There was like
Yeah,
fuzzy.
thank you. Yeah, he's a fuzzy caterpillar. He's got a fuzzy caterpillar body, and he doesn't care who knows it.
He's just singing Rod Stewart. If you like my body. Is that how that goes? I don't know.
I don't.
I shouldn't be singing.
I don't know if that's how it goes, but no, it's if you want my body.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you want my body and you think I'm sexy, that's how it goes.
Yeah. Sung by creeps around the world since the 1980s
Yeah,
or the
that
19s.
and the what's the one the Right Said Fred song? What's that song? Oh no.
Too sexy for
I'm
my
too sexy. Yes, that's
too
the other
sexy for
one.
my shirt.
So sexy it hurts.
Yeah,
I'm too
that's
sexy
it.
for my fuzzy caterpillar hair.
Well,
For
this
my
guy is I don't know, man. I don't know exactly what's going on with him. Probably. I mean, I would think on Jupiter. I don't know. What would the evolutionary purpose be for? I mean, usually the evolutionary purpose for bright colors is for mating, right?
well, and also to show danger. Usually poisonous things are very brightly colored, right?
Yes.
Maybe he's a poisonous caterpillar,
Maybe so.
alligator.
I know one thing is that his legs are
Monster.
messed up, and I'm going to get rid of these legs. I'm getting rid of them right now.
No, don't chop off his legs. He
They
needs
weren't.
legs.
They weren't agreeing with.
Well, he doesn't really need legs. Like, does he need legs?
Not this
He could
set.
just do the worm across.
Right.
Did you say Jupiter? He could just do the worm across Jupiter.
Yeah, not this set of legs. He doesn't need them because they're getting in my
Why
way. They're getting in my way more than anything else, and now I can have a little more fun with the stars through this spot.
Someone said no. No.
Who said no?
Amanda Dobbins said no.
Amanda. Hello.
No.
Listen, just bear with me
I'm
a
just beating her
second.
voice because she has no voice. No. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
It's all right. She's
Sam's gonna never want me yelling in his ear while he paints again.
I'm just glad that I can hear you actually, because it took me a long time to try and get the audio working. We did a test earlier. Remember the test, and I couldn't hear you.
I remember the test. I'm sure that the people watching don't remember the test.
They don't.
Weren't there.
They were
They
not
weren't
there.
watching my kids eat pizza and jump up and down and
No.
looking at my dog.
And your son dancing super fast.
Yeah,
He
Cash
was,
has been stuck in the house too long. So that's, yeah.
so he's been working on his fast dancing moves.
He's been working on his dance moves. Yeah. He's been working on that. He's been working on a lot of things. He's
Man,
been
I know.
working on telling me every single video he watches about a video game. He doesn't play the video games. He watches other people play the video games, and then he comes and tries to recount the entire thing to me. He's been working on that.
He's bored. He's bored. Can't blame him, right?
I need to set up, like, I need to find, I wonder if I can hire another 6-year-old to talk to my 6-year-old. Can I, like, you want to talk to my kid about Minecraft videos? Please? Somebody?
What does that pay?
I don't know. Let's see. What's a per hour rate?
For
I,
for 9-year-olds? How old is he?
no, 6.
For 6-year-olds? I don't know what the going
Another
rate is for
6-year-old.
hourly rate for 6-year-olds. I think it's illegal. First of
Yeah,
all,
probably.
but never know. Yeah, I think it's probably it's probably sucks to be a kid right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really he's taking it, he tends to be very like mature about stuff like that, so he's taking it very well, and he talks a lot about like when the virus is over, you know.
Right.
But it's hard. It's hard for, you know, for all kids, for kids that are seniors in high school, for little kids. Like, this is his first year of school. This is kindergarten. His kindergarten's like done, you know, and he never got to say goodbye to his friends. It's hard.
Oh
But
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Plus, like just trying to manage what he, I guess what he hears, not what he hears, but just manage his anxiety or whatever.
Oh, sure. Well, and it's hard because it's hard to, like, we have a tiny house. It's hard to not talk about what's going on in his earshot, you know?
Yeah.
So, and it's hard for a kid when you don't understand what adults are talking about, and your imagination will run wild. I try to be very honest with them because I think that helps, and to try to like explain what we're talking about. But I don't know. Never know.
Yeah, you never know what kids are thinking. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
remember what I was thinking back then, but I don't. I don't remember what I was thinking when I was little, really. But also, I know that I certainly didn't like tell everybody.
No. Well, they don't know how to express it. Even if they wanted to tell you, they don't quite know how.
Right.
So.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, kids are all right. Kids are usually all right.
Well, and we're finding ways to, you know, like to adapt. My daughter's had to miss her birthday party last month, so now we're doing a Zoom birthday party for her tomorrow. So all of our family can sing happy birthday to her from far away.
How old is she? She's like 4, 3,
She
4.
turned 3 last month, and she has been asking when her birthday. We had like a birthday at home with just us,
Right.
but she expected, because her brother's birthday was the month before, and he went to Chuck E. Cheese, and she's like, "When am I going to Chuck E. Cheese?" Like,
Yeah.
you're not. Sorry,
Wow.
honey. You know, but hopefully, we've spoiled her enough, and you know, she's gonna get everyone to sing to her tomorrow, and she's gonna get a second birthday cake because hopefully that will make her stop asking when it's her birthday. And everyone will sing. But you know, she probably won't even remember this, honestly. A few years from now.
Yeah. Hopefully like they'll have a it'll be like the flu eventually. It may take some time. There are some people that are saying that like, a lesser version of this virus will be around now.
Well, sure, but everything, you know, like measles is still, it's just most people are vaccinated for it. Like a lot of these diseases are still around, and it's just managing it. I mean, it's one of those things. Like in my my point of view is that it is very serious, but at the same time, like, if you look at history, stuff like this has happened over and over and over again. So
Yeah.
there's no use in, like, it's good in taking precautions, but like there's no use in fatalistic thinking.
Right. That I feel the same way. I mean, we've been through a lot as
And
humans have
imagine,
been through a lot. I mean, like what was it? I mean, you know, there used to there was a time when something like this would happen and there was no way. You just had to wait.
oh yeah, well, imagine like the Black Plague, like you would just have dead people in your house, just, and because no one would take them away. You
Yeah.
know, and no, and you wouldn't be looking at Netflix all day or playing Final Fantasy or just having Zoom meetings with your family. Like, this is actually like the best possible, you
Right.
know, um, comparatively. It's a lot more comfortable for a lot of people. For a lot of people, it's not. I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of people going through some really bad stuff right now, but compared to the Black Plague, like, we got it pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think anybody's trying to cheapen anybody's experience if they're having a hard time. It really sucks. You know, a lot of people are not able to work right now, worried about money, stuff like that. But, you know, it could be worse, I guess. I don't know. I know what you're saying, right? Like it could be worse. But I mean, I was complaining earlier about how I wanted Rocky's hot chicken. So like, I'm
Well,
definitely
it's hard because we live in this culture where if we're privileged in any way, we're made to feel shame for feeling loss.
right.
So, like,
This
it's
is
okay for you to be sad about not having Rockies. That's okay. That's
I know.
okay.
I know it's okay. I know it's okay. I mean, yeah, I can be sad about that and still know like how good I have it. You know,
Right.
it's.
Right, for sure.
I mean, I got a lot of gratitude going on, and you know, once again, I mean, I feel bad for people that kind of roll around all day looking for something to get pissed off about. I mean, I kind of do. I feel bad for them.
Yeah, I just don't have the mental space for that. Like, that sounds exhausting to me.
Yeah,
Exhausting.
it's
Like,
yeah.
I think about, like, I don't know, I might have discussed this with you before. I have some neighbors that fight a lot, like loud screaming, throwing stuff at each other, like down the street.
Oh
And I'll
no.
hear them sometimes if I'm out, and I'm like, how, like, I'm just exhausted listening to you. You
Yeah,
know? I don't like, I get being upset with someone or someone doing terrible things to you, but I would just leave. I wouldn't fight with them. I'd just be like, bye.
yeah.
Like,
That's
I guess some people can't leave and whatever. But
some people enjoy the drama of it. You know.
that's true. Some people do love that. And that's fine. Whatever.
But I
Everything's
mean,
fun.
it certainly doesn't sound like they're enjoying it though when people are doing that. I don't enjoy it, and it definitely stresses me out to hear people argue. I'm not a big fan of it. Yeah,
No.
I'm a walk awayer too, so we're
Yeah.
alike like that.
Everybody be cool. Just everybody be cool.
Everybody be cool. People get
Everybody love
upset.
everybody. That's all I want.
Yeah, that's me too. Me too. I just want
Yeah.
everybody to love each other and
Yeah.
stop getting so mad about dumb shit.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're all like, you know, pretty similar. We're more alike than we are different. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, we should. I don't know. It's the last several years have been really divisive, or not divisive, divisive. Is
No,
that the word?
I think divisive's right.
Dividing of
I would
people.
say divisive. I don't know.
Divisive
But
meaning dividing of people. People are very
yeah.
divided.
Well, we've become very tribal. I mean, and that goes in
Yeah.
cycles too. And it's just, I don't know. That's once again. There's, what are you going to do about that? This is just, I try my best to not instigate fights, and even though my opinion might not be someone else's, and occasionally I do it, and then I'm like, okay, I need to, like,
I just
chill out. because it doesn't
Yeah, I
matter.
mean, if somebody were to like want to talk about something, maybe I would, but most of the time I wouldn't. Like, just there's no change in people's dumb
No,
minds anymore about anything, you know. Uh, I just, I gotta like take care of my sanity. I can't like
absolutely.
spend time.
Well, and what's the point, like, in trying to change someone's mind? It's easier. To go back to what we were talking about earlier. It's easier to change someone's mind through empathy, through creating empathy,
Right.
by connecting with them with your art or whatever, than it would be to actually say to them, "You're wrong."
Yeah, changing people's mind by browbeating them and calling them idiots or whatever. It's never worked in the history of ever.
No,
You
never.
you
Right.
change people's mind like kind of slowly. If you really wanted to make that your project, you can also change people's mind by just or concentrating on what your similarities are instead of your
Right.
differences. Like I was saying. And right, I mean that's my like with my art stuff. I'm usually just my the place I come from is that I'm gonna do kind of like what I want to do, and I know that of all the billions of people in the world, that some people will get it. I mean, we all have this tendency to feel like we're the only person that feels the way that we do in the world, and I think that I mean, we're definitely all unique, but we're not so different that when you create something or you have an idea or you think something's funny, even if the people around you don't necessarily get it, that doesn't mean that nobody is going to get it.
Right.
And so
Right.
we live in a world now where you can reach so many freaking people, like I don't know. So
So
I
that
don't know what
that
I'm
just
saying.
made me think of, I kept having that song, that my Sharona, that song. Except in my head it was my Corona, and like, and it was a song about coronavirus, and Weird Al Yankovic was singing it with
Oh,
like accordion and stuff. And this is in my head, like I'm just making this joke to myself.
okay.
And I posted something about it on Facebook, and someone links to a video. It wasn't Weird Al, but some other guy made that parody song.
Right.
And I was like, so the chance that this other dude is like simultaneously sitting there singing My Corona in his head until he decides to make a video, like at the same time I'm thinking about it,
Right.
like there's some common thread happening there,
Yeah.
you know.
So you're
Um,
gonna sue them, right?
right, exactly. I should have trademarked. I should, or whatever you copyright. I should have copywritten that. I should have gotten it out there before him. I was too
Yeah.
slow.
You would have made like 20 to $30
I would have gotten
easily.
like 20 to 30 likes on YouTube.
Yeah. You might have gotten your own reality TV show. I don't know.
My computer is about to die on me, just FYI. So if I disappear, that's because I'm too lazy to go plug it in.
It's okay. I think I got involved in doing this, trying to finish it in some way, but I think we could probably wrap this up. I said,
I like its little tail is glowing. I see that now in whatever version of the universe I'm in.
yeah,
It looks great.
you're not too far behind. Um,
I hit love. I hit love. And then I'm gonna laugh. I'm just gonna do a bunch of reacts here before it's my computer dies,
okay.
because that's fun for me. I've got
Awesome.
12%. But yeah, no,
Yeah. Oh, you can hit it as many times as you want.
well, you can in the video. You can't on the actual, like, where the chat thing is, but if you're looking at the video during the video, you can just, yeah. See, I see you doing it.
I am, but the
Trying
thing
to pad
is
your
that
stats, Dan? Are you trying to pad your stats? Look at this.
I am 100%. I think this is other people doing the grand finale fireworks display because they know that we're leaving. I love all of you that came tonight to watch.
Yes.
Thank you very much, and go check out Elizabeth's work. You can see she posted a link earlier, and yeah, if you like my stuff, I know you'll like her stuff. And no animals were harmed during the making of any of her art or my art. All right, Elizabeth, thanks. I hope that we can do this again.
Yeah, for sure. I enjoyed talking to you.
You too. Yeah, let's do it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna peace out before because my computer is like
Yeah.
it's like being mean and yelling
Okay.
at me. All
Yeah.
right.
Later.
Bye.
Bye. All right. All right, everybody. We're going to wrap this up. Thanks again to Elizabeth. Thanks again to everybody. And I've got stuff. Okay, yeah. We're going to go out with a little fizzle. All right. Thanks again, everybody. And I'm going to leave you with this. This is the end of the drawing for now. Maybe I'll come back next week and do this. I don't know. But yes, did I mention thank you, that I was thankful? All right. Good night. Oh, I have a website, danjaworsky.com. Go to my website. Look at art. And also, yeah, stay tuned. Stay cool.